I am with Joy Knox of State Farm, who has been my insurance agent for at least 8 years, saving me a ton of money. And she's also the owner of a State Farm franchise in the Energy Corridor. She's been doing insurance for 39 years. She doesn't look like that because she barely looks 39 years old. But Joy, thank you so much for coming today, because there's so much chatter out there about, we're seeing it in the news that the insurance companies are pulling out of some states, Florida, California. I think Houston is nervous as we're seeing hurricane season ramp up. Idalia just hit Florida, probably going to have an impact on Florida's insurance again. So it is so important to understand the cost of home ownership. You are my go-to if I have a client. I know you just saved a client that was paying $17,000 a year for their homeowner's insurance, and you got them down to $7,000 a year. So what the heck is going on, and how do we control the rising cost of insurance now?
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Sherry. Appreciate it. So what is happening now is the insurance industry across the United States has experienced one of the toughest operating environments in the last 2 years, right? So what is that contributed to? Inflation across our country, the cost of goods and services, and of course catastrophic losses that you have seen in the news.
Which is continuous now.
All the time.
There's flooding, there's fires. It's like every time we turn around, there's another catastrophic loss somewhere.
Exactly. So we are in what insurance agents call a hard market. So what does that mean? Texas is a perilous state. So as you very well know, Texas has hailstorms. We have ice storms. We have fierce winds. We have flooding. We have fires. We have wildfires as of yesterday. We have hurricanes, and we have very erratic drivers as well, which causes very severe claims and injury losses. So what is causing all of that? Every single day we hear about carriers pulling out of the state of Texas, California, Florida, Louisiana. Yeah. As of yesterday, I heard of 3 different carriers that are no longer taking new business, period.
Wow, which ones?
I don't know if I can name them.
Does it get us in trouble?
I think so.
Let's live on the edge a little bit. Say it out loud.
Well, I've just read some documents regarding some major carriers that are no longer riding on the coastal areas, maybe inland. They're not taking any new business, period, across the state of Texas, or they're non-renewing business. So there's multiple companies pulling out. So what's contributing to that? What is contributing to that? Right now, we have 96 homeowner companies in the state's database that are asking for a rate increase from 13.3% to 50% on homeowners.
Wow.
The cost of goods and services are high. The supply chain is very limited. The cost of composition shingles are 85% up.
Yeah.
Insurance companies,
if you have to replace a roof, that cost of replacing the roof has gone up
substantially,
yeah.
Almost 100% there. So what they call that is insurance companies use a term called loss ratio. So what that means is claims paid out versus expenses versus income coming in. So if an insurance company is paying out $1.50 for every dollar that they bring in, it's unsustainable to operate
They're operating at a loss.
Exactly.
Got it. Which makes sense. So then you have to have the cost of insurance has to go up. Plus, if they're having to pay out all these claims because of all the catastrophic events, they're already at a loss, and then your cost of goods went up, and it's impacting everybody. So now it has to come back to the homeowner to ensure your home costs more today. What are some tips that you can give these homeowners, because they're already dealing with over 7% interest rates? We're really getting to a point where housing affordability is just getting out of reach for the average person out there.
You know, I really feel for the consumer, because I'm a consumer, you're a consumer, everybody's a consumer. So we have the cost of our groceries, gas, milk, anything across the state of Texas. I just had my garage doors replaced. They told me before 2020 it would have been $1,800. It cost me almost $4,000 to have mine put in.
Double.
So that's substantial. I had a new AC put in that I could have probably bought a car with. It cost so much money. So the cost of goods and services, inflation, it's an inflationary market. So everything has doubled. So again, this is cyclical. Everything that we've gone through, we will manage the next couple of years. Once we get out of this cycle, everything should come down. Some of the things that we can do for our homeowners is, number one, everyone, let me encourage you to call your insurance agent, sit down with them, go over all the coverages, build value into what you want, tell them what's important to you. Increase your deductibles. You can change them in a couple of years. Increase your deductibles. Let me encourage you to install a centralized alarm. I'm happy to announce that State Farm is partnering with ADT effective in September. $19.99 a month, and some of the services that it's including is 3 to 7 water sensors that will mitigate water losses in your home.
Oh, so if you have a pipe that busts, it's automatically an alarm's going to go off that you have a broken pipe. That's amazing.
So you will be able to mitigate that loss quickly, effectively, and maybe $200 out of pocket.
And ADT is normally $40 a month, so that's like half the price of what they normally cost if you went out there and went directly to ADT. So that's an incredible deal.
That
Great
is
to
an
know
incredible
that.
deal. So what State Farm is trying to do is mitigate water losses. That's the largest that we see as far as losses are concerned, and it could run from $5,000 to $200,000 loss, depending on how long that water's been sitting there if you're on vacation. The other thing is that State Farm has a program, it's called Ting, T-I-N-G. It's free to policyholders. It's just a device that plugs into your outlet, and it monitors your electrical system, the flow of electricity through your home. If there's an interruption or if there's a propensity for fire, it will notify you immediately. And that's free. So fires, water, there we go. Another thing that you can do is replace your AC, your plumbing, your electrical system if it's outdated. Updates are very important. There's additional discounts for that as well.
But you just said that AC costs you twice as much the cost of a car. Does it, I mean, that payout, if you've got the next few years, you have to come in and spend $20,000 on a new AC unit. Does that really make financial sense right now?
It's up to the individual and their financial situation, but if indeed it dies and they have to do it, they need to notify their insurance company for additional discounts, because that is recorded. How old is the AC?
Good point.
How old is the electrical? How old is the plumbing? Let's give this person another discount.
Yeah, so every time you do an upgrade, contact your insurance agent, and there's a possibility that you'll get a discount, especially if you're replacing a roof. I heard from someone today, they said insurance companies are no longer offering you the 1% deductible on windstorm. We're seeing 2% across the board on that.
Minimum 2%.
Wow.
Minimum.
Which means that, so you've got 2%, to put that into perspective for people, you have a $500,000 house, 2% of that $500,000 is your deductible on if there is a wind that blows your roof off, it's $10,000.
Exactly. Clients and policyholders are choosing a 3 to 5% right now, just to lower the rates of the homeowners insurance.
So take the risk yourself.
Take the risk. Self-insure small claims, little bitty things. You have a little bitty water loss. You have a little bitty small theft. Self-insure. Wait for a large claim that will financially impact your pocketbook. That would be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Pass that on to the insurance company. One thing insurance companies are looking at is frequency of claims. You have too many claims, it could keep you out of the market for qualifying for homeowners insurance.
You might want to wait until after hurricane season to increase your deductible. That would be my only question. The other thing is that what I've seen be a huge problem, and right now we're talking about, we've had this incredibly hot summer, and now the weather experts are predicting that we're going to have a crazy cold winter. How can we be hit with two extremes in 1 year? And remember the last time we had a freeze in Houston, we had pipes busting all over the place. That actually caused almost as many claims as the hurricane did. So I would be very careful, because I had lots of clients that were underinsured. And they go out, and in order to get cheap insurance, they, rather than self-insuring, they do something like through Geico. And it's just a fire. So basically they were only covered if there was their house caught on fire. So now your pipe busts and you've got you're talking $5 to tens of thousands of dollars for loss from that. I had one client that had a $60,000 claim for a busted water heater. So I would be careful, kind of looking at you, because you're the expert here, to advise someone to be careful about underinsuring your property.
Absolutely. Be very, very careful. Cheap is what cheap is. Like if you had cancer, you're going to go to the cheapest doctor. No, you want to go to the best, because if it financially impacts you, you want to make sure you're with the best insurance company that has the financial strength to pay your claims. That's very important. If somebody's giving you homeowners for $800 a year, they're not paying for anything. Everything is depreciated and everything's excluded. Be very careful about that. Make sure there's full transparency and that you understand the coverages so there's no shock at claim time. Just like with the pipes, I had so many people call my office and say, it's not covered under my insurance policy. It should have been. That is a catastrophic loss. It's a freeze. The pipes broke. The residual damage that cost should have all been covered.
Yeah, I definitely had some of that. What I love about Joy, what I love about you, is that you are so knowledgeable about insurance. You're so willing to help and talk to people that aren't even insured with State Farm. And you are my go-to when it comes to any question that I have about insurance. I'm going to tell you, I was even in Costa Rica recently, and Joy is like so responsive. I'm like, wait, I'm renting a car. Am I covered under my car insurance here? And I mean, here I am in Costa Rica texting Joy, going, Joy, am I covered? Not fully. Okay, thanks. Yeah. So
buy it
you
there.
need someone just like we at Energy Realty. Make sure once you buy that house, we're there by your side to answer any of your questions. That's really what you can get from Joy. So it's not just about that. I want to add another thing, and then if you want to close this out, I personally was insured through USAA, and I watched my insurance rates go up. Even when you have a long-term relationship with an insurance company, if you see your insurance rates go up, it's time to get another quote. Talk to another insurance agent from a reputable company like Joy. You would be surprised at the money that you can save just with switching carriers.
Appreciate that, Sherry, very much. I bought my house from Sherry. She's the best in the industry. Just really appreciate her and what her team does as well. Let me just tell you, this is cyclical. Everything is for a season. This too shall pass. The insurance crisis here in the United States and Texas and Florida and California will all pass. We will navigate this challenging market together. Please communicate with your insurance company. Go in and talk about the value, the coverages, whatever's important to you. But we can get through this together, and we always have. I don't know if you ever remember the mold crisis we had in early 2001 to 2005. It was horrible. Nobody was writing. Everybody was pulling out. We managed to survive that as well, and we will survive this as well.
We will. We will survive high interest rates, and we will survive high insurance rates. Thank you so much for all your great tips, and I'm definitely going to go see what I've replaced this year in my house.
All right. Thank you so much.